You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon and welcome to Live at 4. We have a very exciting day today.
Busy day.
Very busy. We'll be taking your plant questions later on in the show from Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company. But first, our Day of Warmth telethon is just beginning here on News 3.
This is a live look inside Studio C. What we're doing today is asking for your help to support the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund. It provides emergency heating assistance to our neighbors in need. And we'll be checking in with our Sarah Carlson and our volunteers who are joining us throughout the show. But you can call right now. You can either call online or go online and donate. We'll be putting up the number in just a second.
Yeah, and we have continuing coverage for the search for 16-year-old Sophia Franklin from Beaver Dam. We're learning the suspect, 40-year-old Gary Day of Arkansas, has a criminal record.
Franklin is pregnant with Day's child, and authorities say the two met online. The sheriff's office in Lone Oak County, Arkansas, says Day likely picked Franklin up from her Beaver Dam home Monday morning. Day is on felony probation in Arkansas for domestic battery charges. In December, probation officers went to Day's home for a check and found him with Franklin.
When they went to check on him, somebody ran out the back door, and that turned out to be a 16-year-old female from Wisconsin.
She was brought back to Beaver Dam and a no-contact order was issued. Day could only be arrested for interference with custody, since the age of consent in Arkansas is 16. Franklin's mother said she misses her daughter and wants her home.
Authorities believe the two are driving in a black Buick LaCrosse. Day is switching out the license plates. The last known plates on the car were Pennsylvania and read KGW 5186. If you have any information about where Day and Franklin could be, call the Beaver Dam Police Department at 888-304-3936. For emergencies, call 911. Later on at Live at 4, our Jalen Banks reports from Beaver Dam.
Well, let's get a check on the forecast now. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is, it's Jacob today. Sorry about that, Jacob. Jacob is out on the patio. And it looks like things aren't going to be as bad as we thought. Is that true?
Yeah, we're not expecting really much in the form of freezing rain. Could see some drizzle near the Illinois border, but our area just going to see some light snow that probably won't accumulate much. As we take a look at the current radar, seeing some light flurries across southern Wisconsin, but at this point in time, that is just about it. Looking to the south, there is more freezing rain and sleet for central Illinois, and there are winter weather advisories up until the Illinois-Wisconsin border for that freezing rain. But notice our area not under any advisories or warnings, and so we have pulled the alert day because it looks like the heaviest freezing rain will stay south. But we're still going to see some snowfall throughout the night. It'll move in later in the evening, especially impacting areas north of Madison. Those areas have the best chance to see the snowfall. Still expect to see at least some flurries here for Dane County, but more consistent though is expected north, and as we get towards sunrise Thursday morning, most of it will clear out at that time. But looking at the snowfall forecasts, we could see about an inch for far northern counties, but that'll be just about it. Only expecting about a dusting here in Dane County. Looking at the evening forecast, temperatures aren't going to change much throughout the night as we'll continue to see cloud cover. We're going to continue to be in the middle to upper 20s throughout the evening and for the overnight lows. But I'll talk more in detail about a cool down and a better chance of snowfall for the weekend. All those details will be a little bit later.
Thank you, Jacob. A special prosecutor has been appointed in a case against a Dane County beagle breeder.
Our Kyle Pozorski has been closely following this story, and he joins us with an update. Kyle?
Yeah, the Blue Mountains beagle breeder, Ridgeland Farms, is accused of abusing the dogs bred at their facility. Over the past year, a group of animal rights activists has sought to get a special prosecutor to investigate those allegations. It was in 2017 when activists from Direct Action Everywhere say they took the video you're seeing from inside the farm. This past October, a judge heard testimony against the breeder, including photos, documents, and other video evidence like this, with the judge later ordering a special prosecutor to take on the case. Now, a La Crosse District Attorney, Tim Grunke, will serve in that role. Attorneys representing Dane for Dogs say they are encouraged by the appointment. Their statement reads in part, quote, "We trust that DA Grunke will follow the evidence, which clearly shows these dogs have endured unnecessary pain and suffering in violation of Wisconsin law." News 3 Now has been reaching out by phone, email, and by visits to Ridgeland for months to ask about the accusations. We have not heard anything back as of yet. Guys.
Thanks, Kyle. The parents of a 22-year-old man are suing Walgreens and pharmacy management company Optum Rx, alleging their son died because he couldn't afford a spike in his asthma medicine. Shannon and William Schmidtnecht of Poinet will now have filed their lawsuit in a federal court in Milwaukee. Their son Cole died from an asthma attack-induced cardiac arrest in January last year. Days before that, he tried to refill his prescription, which typically cost him $5. Would be more than $500 this time. The family's lawsuit seeks unspecified damages.
Tech billionaire Elon Musk will not testify about his role in the Trump administration's new Department of Government Efficiency. Republicans on the House Oversight Committee blocking that effort from Democrats. It comes as Musk's role within the Trump administration is becoming increasingly prominent. Earlier this morning, news broke that DOJ had gained access to payment systems at the agency overseeing Medicare and Medicaid.
In response to the president and Musk's plans to gut federal agencies and workforces, Americans around the country protested today.
One of those protests happened right here in Madison, which included repeated marches up and down State Street. Our Arman Rahman has more from the demonstration at the Capitol.
Hundreds took to the Capitol and surrounding streets Wednesday afternoon because they say they need to stand in solidarity with groups that they say are oppressed by the Trump administration.
This is what democracy looks like!
Groups in support of the trans community, immigrant community, and more stood with those against President Donald Trump and the overreach they say Elon Musk has in the government with the newly created Department of Government Efficiency. Miranda Taylor with the group We the People Wisconsin says as much as it can be cathartic for people to march and chant together, real change must come soon.
I hope people continue to mobilize and organize, get their hands in the democracy process, elect leaders that'll actually do something and promote change within our government. The people are the ones that are backing all of this. We back our politicians, we back our representatives. We need people to start making those votes happen.
These demonstrators are just some of the thousands around the country Wednesday. Taylor says she doesn't know who organized this protest in Madison. The protest attracted people of all ages. I spoke to a mother from Kenosha who brought her 2 kids. Find out why she says it was important for them to be here tonight at 5. For now, reporting in Madison, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Arman. On Capitol Hill, Madison's Representative Mark Pocan is introducing legislation that would direct federal agencies to terminate any contracts held by a special government employee. The congressman's office says it's similar to bans for members of Congress and other federal employees. The bill is called the Eliminate Looting of Our Nation by Mitigating Unethical State Kleptocracy Act, or the Elon Musk Act. A statement from Representative Pocan on the bill reads in part, no government employee, special or not, should have any financial interest in who the government does business with. Elon Musk is the poster child for this type of potential abuse.
Well, some sad news on this Wednesday. The snowy owl that brought people from all over the state to New Glarus since December has died. The New Glarus police chief says the Department of Natural Resources confirmed the owl's death this morning. The DNR has collected the bird's remains and a warden is looking into the circumstances of its death, but they say foul play is not suspected.
Well, we are helping the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund continue its vital support of people who need help with those heating bills in our community.
Our Day of Warmth telethon continues until 6:30 tonight. Our Sarah Carlson joins us now with more on how you can help. Sarah?
Hi, Susan and Brady. Before I interview our volunteer here, I want to let you know this will be happening until 6:30, but if you're watching right now and you have $5 or $50 or $500, this is serious stuff. This is for people who are choosing between eating and heating. And now joining me is Noel Ajala. He is the Veteran Services Coordinator for the Keep Wisconsin Warm and Cool Foundation. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for all these volunteers. The phones are ringing and we want them to ring more. So before we get them ringing more, tell me a little bit about the organization and what people need to know.
The Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and the Heat and Housing for Heroes assist not only elderly families with small children, the veterans in the state of Wisconsin, to help them keep the heat at home and don't have to struggle between eating and heating.
Right.
So our organization is committed statewide, not just in Madison, to help families with their utility bills throughout the entire heating season and even during the summer month.
And what you mentioned was deciding between eating and doing these things, and food is getting more expensive. So the people in need really need help paying those utility bills. So if you can see the numbers on your screen, it's 608-270-2833, as well as the website. But please give please donate. We've got fabulous volunteers here, and we'll be back talking to some other volunteers and other organizers. But it's really exciting. We want to see those numbers going up. Anything else you want to tell people out there who are kind of wondering?
I just will tell them, call. It's a great organization. We help statewide, and we help not just veterans, but entire families throughout the state of Wisconsin.
Those in need. Ajala, thank you so much for joining us, and I'll throw it back to you, Brady and Susan.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, again, this is going on from now until 6:30 tonight, and we'll keep you updated throughout the evening on News 3 Now on how much money we've raised so far. And thank you, everyone, for your generosity.
Yeah, it's a way to do something good.
Yeah.
It's a very good cause.
Next on Live at 4, the president's latest executive order.
Plus, how lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are reacting to the administration's latest proposal on Gaza.
Breaking with decades of U.S. foreign policy, the Trump administration wants the U.S. to take over Gaza. The president made the announcement while hosting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House. Arab nations have rejected any suggestions to displace Palestinians from Gaza. Opponents argue it would amount to an ethnic cleansing. We're also hearing from Democrats and Republicans on Capitol Hill.
This is an extraordinarily dangerous approach for the president to take and not consistent with American values. The president has simply been treating Gaza as if it were one more real estate development opportunity.
It's a bold move, certainly, far bolder than what's been done before, but I think we've got to stand unequivocally in an unwavering manner, as the whip said, with Israel, our closest ally and friend in the Middle East. And I think if we could bring control of that situation and bring about a lasting peace there, it would do well for everybody, not just in the region, but around the world.
Earlier today, the White House press secretary said the president has no plans to put boots on the ground in Gaza. She did not elaborate on how the U.S. would take control of the region without military force.
Wisconsin is taking action against an executive order that bans gender-affirming care for people under the age of 19. Today, Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul joined 14 other attorneys general, releasing a statement calling the order wrong on both the science and the law. It reads in part, quote, "Healthcare decisions should be made by patients, families, and doctors, not a politician trying to use his power to restrict your freedoms. Gender-affirming care is essential, life-saving medical treatment that supports individuals in living as their authentic selves."
And this comes as President Trump has signed an executive order to ban transgender girls and women from competing on sports teams that match their gender identity. The order, titled "Keeping Men Out of Women's Sports," mandates Title IX, the federal law banning sex discrimination, prohibit the participation of transgender girls and women in female sports. Republicans have argued transgender female athletes have biological advantages that are unfair and unsafe for other girls and women. Well, let's get a live look at Studio C, where our Sarah Carlson is. We're helping the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund continue. Now, this is a vital support of people who need help with heating bills in our community.
Our Day of Warmth telethon continues tonight until 6:30. You can call 608-270-2833 or donate online at kwwf.org. And Sarah will join us in just a little while with more on how you can help. And thanks to everybody for helping us do this. It's very important.
Yeah, and what an appropriate day. It is quite cold out today. Here's meteorologist Jacob Montesano with our forecast.
Yeah, and we're going to continue to see cold temperatures as a whole, but our big focus is on the snow tonight and also the snow on Saturday. And temperatures are actually going to get even colder for next week. Going to stay pretty normal for the rest of this week, but then they're going to drop to pretty cold levels for the time we get to next week. Now, as we take a look at the forecast for tonight, we'll see some light snow showers move into our area during the evening. Could get up to moderate levels in northern counties, as that's where the most consistent snow is expected. But the time timing of this will be very brief, really only between around 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. By sunrise Thursday, we're going to see the snow clear out, and then we'll start out cloudy tomorrow with sunshine for the afternoon. Now, what also that we will see tomorrow is some pretty gusty winds. Here's a look at the wind gust forecast. By the morning, we're going to have wind gusts up around 35 miles per hour, and that's going to continue throughout much of the day and the evening. Now, once we get to the overnight hours, the winds will calm down a little bit and not going to be nearly as bad for Friday morning, but those winds are going to cause the temperatures to drop quite a bit. So looking at the wind chill forecast, the actual temperatures could get up to the middle 30s, but because of that wind, it's going to feel like it's in the teens and 20s for the afternoon, and then could possibly drop below zero as we get towards Friday morning. But then the temperatures are going to rebound for Friday and Saturday morning, but then they'll drop again for next week. Now let's take a look at Saturday's snowfall. It does look to start Friday night for parts of the area, but once we get towards the later morning hours on Saturday, everyone is expected to see snow, and this could last throughout much of the day. Now, the further south you're located, the lighter the snow will be, with heavier snow off to the north, but everyone definitely expected to see snow at some point, especially for those afternoon into the early evening hours for Saturday. But the good news is that the snow does look to clear out by the time we get to Sunday morning, so this shouldn't impact any Super Bowl plans. May still see some roads still snow covered, but for the most part, Sunday will be dry. Now, here's a look at the accumulation that's expected. These numbers are subject to change, but right now, around 3 inches or more is expected for northern counties, 1 to 3 for Madison and surrounding areas, a little bit less the further south you go. But again, these numbers can change in either direction, so definitely stay updated for the latest forecast, because right now it looks pretty likely that we'll at least see some snow for Saturday.
But that ice will stay south of us, right?
Yes,
that's good news.
Tonight, we're just going to see some light snow, a little bit more further north, but not having any alert days for tonight.
Great.
Thanks, Jacob. Well, coming up on Live at 4, Super Bowl Sunday is just around the corner.
Yep, when we come back, our Josh Spreiter brings us ideas on how you can support local businesses when stocking up for the big game.
Well, this is a live look at our Day of Warmth telethon in Studio C, and we are asking for your help to support the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund, and it provides emergency heating assistance to those in need. You can donate at the number on your screen, that's 608-270-2833, and we'll check back in with Sarah later on Live at 4. Well, in the 608, we're gearing up for football's biggest night, which is also one of the best days for foodies.
Josh Spreiter, it sounds like another tough assignment for Josh here, sat down with the dairy farmers of Wisconsin on how you can support local this Super Bowl Sunday.
Well, we are getting ready for Super Bowl Sunday, and what better way to support local than the dairy farmers of Wisconsin? Angie Edge is joining us in the 608. Hi, Angie.
Hi, good morning.
So this is always an exciting time of year, and, you know, we want the big food spread on the table, and there's a way to support Wisconsin farmers here.
Exactly, and, you know, no Super Bowl party is complete without lots of food and, of course, Wisconsin cheese. And this weekend, 29 million pounds of cheese is going to be consumed, a huge number. And if you look at both towns between Kansas City and Philadelphia, that would mean that every single person could have a 14-pound gift basket of Wisconsin cheese. We're talking a lot of cheese
That's
here.
That's a lot of cheese, and I mean, we love our cheese here in Wisconsin, so you're kind of helping us with some recipe ideas.
Yeah, and there's so many great things you could make, you know, just a simple cheese board, a lot of cheese dips, cheese balls, desserts have cheese. Today we're making cheesy sheet pan nachos, and we have over 600 different types of cheeses here in Wisconsin, so you really can use your favorite. The recipe online calls for the Hooks 1-year cheddar.
One of my
You
favorites.
said you like Hooks.
Yep.
Tony is a Wisconsin master cheesemaker making award-winning cheeses right in Mineral Point. So again, supporting those local farmers, local cheesemakers. And then to spice it up a notch, we're also using a banana pepper cheese, which I can't wait for you to try.
Yes.
This one is also made by a Wisconsin master cheesemaker. It's a Meister cheese in Muscadet, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So it has a lot of great kick to it. So basically, it's very simple to make. If you're not sure what to make this weekend, you're gonna use a sheet pan, layer it with parchment paper, and then put on your, tortilla chips on a nice flat layer. And then you're gonna put 1 cup of your pepper jack cheese and then 1 cup of your cheddar cheese. Bake it in the oven for about 5 minutes just till it gets to a nice ooey gooey cheese.
Yep.
And then we also have some grilled chicken on top as well.
Get that protein in there.
And then you can have so much fun if you want to, put on a little pico de gallo to give it some color, a lot of nice flavor. We also have some avocados, which are great, and you could set this up as a whole bar for your guests.
Oh, certainly.
If you want to spice it up even more, some sliced jalapeno peppers. Well, it looks like we have some green and gold Packer colors here, but
we're trying our best here, yeah.
And then some cilantro. You can also add on some sour cream, some fresh lime wedges, and just have so much fun with your nacho bar.
And I love how creative you can get with this too, and kind of mix in some different things, whatever you want. This is your party, right?
There is a recipe online at wisconsincheese.com, but you can find your favorite cheeses, your favorite toppings. The only thing we ask is that you look for that Proudly Wisconsin seal, so you're supporting your local farmers and your local cheesemakers.
And you can't have nachos without Wisconsin cheese.
Right, you can't. And so many cheeses, whether you have a pepper jack or a cheddar, but Brick, Munster, Gouda, they all melt beautifully and make for a perfect Super Bowl spread.
Oh my gosh, looking forward to this. Well, we'll have more recipes up on channel3000.com. Thank you so much for the inspiration, Angie. Appreciate it. We'll send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Josh and Angie. It all looks great.
No, I love making my own nachos.
Yeah, I do too.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, coming up next on Live at 4, we continue our Day of Warmth telethon.
And we have a preview of how a Madison artist is commemorating Black History Month.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
And welcome back to Live at 4, and thank you everyone who has helped us with our big telethon to help our neighbors who need a little more help this winter with heating.
Everything is expensive now, including utility bills. And here's a live look inside Studio C. Our volunteers are here, and they're looking forward to talking to you. Thank you everybody who has called so far. Every dollar helps our neighbors who are struggling to pay heating bills this winter. If you'd like to donate, the number to call is 608-270-2833, or you can give online at kwwf.org/donate. Our Sarah Carlson is in Studio C with our volunteers, and we're going to join her a little bit later on the show with an update on what we've collected so far and learn a little bit more about the mission.
Yeah, it's very important. And if you've been outside, you know it is very important on a day like today. It is cold out. Jacob is out on our patio with our forecast. Jacob?
Yeah, temperature is definitely on the colder side, and they're not really going to go anywhere for the time being. In fact, it's going to get even colder for next week. Now, let's take a look at the current radar, because we still are going to see some snow tonight, despite the fact that we did pull the alert day for today. Right now, seeing some light snow across the region, especially off to the north. Zooming further out, though, you can see some of that freezing rain and sleet to the south of us, and it's mostly going to stay south. We're really only going to see precipitation in the form of snow tonight, and the best chance for that snow will be for areas north of Madison, although everyone definitely has a chance to see snow. North of Madison will see the most consistent snowfall and could even see some accumulation. Now, this is only going to last for a few hours. Will definitely clear out by sunrise Thursday. So looking at the accumulation forecast, only about an inch further north, dusting for far southern Wisconsin. But as we look at the temperatures, they aren't going to change too much compared to right now. They're going to stay in the middle and upper 20s. And then as we head towards the afternoon tomorrow, it is going to be sunny with mild temperatures, middle to upper 30s, but it is going to be pretty windy. I'll talk more in detail about that and a better chance of snow for the weekend. All those details will be coming up a bit later.
Thanks, Jacob. The Amber Alert for Sophia Franklin, a 16-year-old Beaver Dam girl, is still active today.
Authorities say she was last seen in Beaver Dam at 9 p.m. on Sunday. She is believed to be with a 40-year-old Arkansas man, Gary Day. Our Jalen Banks has been live in Beaver Dam all afternoon, and he joins us now with the latest on the investigation. Jalen, what have you learned?
Susan and Brady, News 3 was able to obtain the criminal complaint of the incident. Now, Gary Day has been charged on 2 accounts of child abduction and 2 counts of child enticement. The complaint says that Day and Franklin first met online in April of 2024. Franklin is also believed to be pregnant with a child of Day's. Earlier, I had the chance to speak with Beaver Dam Police Chief John Kruziger on where authorities are with finding Franklin. So, Day and Franklin, Authorities are still looking for them. They're believed to be traveling in a 2014 Buick LaCrosse. Now, earlier today, I was able to speak with Franklin's sisters. They were here at the police station gathering some things, and in my conversation with them, they didn't want to go on camera, but they were saying that, the family at this time, they're not taking any questions. They're just simply asking for prayers and for people out in the community and whoever may have information to continue to relay that to law enforcement, and again, just continue to pray. They're a very faith-based family. Tonight at 5, we'll hear from authorities down in Arkansas, where Gary Day is from, on where they're at in the investigation. But for now, reporting live in Beaver Dam, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
All right, Jalen, thank you. And if you have any information on where Franklin and Day might be, please call the Beaver Dam Police Department, 888-304-3936.
Now to Greene County. County clerks there are saying they're experiencing an internet outage right there.
Our Tanisha Shaw is live outside of the courthouse. Hi, Tanisha. What's the situation and how long is this expected to last?
Hi, Susan and Brady. So they said they found out about the internet outage yesterday, and it's expected to last for a few more days. The county clerk is calling this a network incident. Now, this is impacting a lot of departments within the Greene County Courthouse, except for the Sheriff's Department. So the Sheriff's Department is the only department that is not seeing any of these effects. But the departments that are impacted are some of the departments like the Child Support Office, District Attorney's Department, Emergency Management, Human Resources, and more.
This is impacting several county departments who no longer have access to internet or phone services. So if you are trying to call or email, staff is doing the best they can to receive that communication and contact you back.
Again, this is expected to last 4 days. They said they don't know when exactly it's gonna end though, and they are trying to figure out how this happened and exactly how bad or how severely this will impact people in Greene County. Now, I will be back tomorrow and possibly later on today with updates on where this is. Reporting in Greene County, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. Wall Street drifting higher today. The Dow gained 317 points, the Nasdaq up 38 points, and the S&P 500 gained 24. In the spirit of Black History Month, we are bringing you stories that show how people are celebrating their community and their heritage.
Art can be the most powerful form of expression, and our Merrill Hubbard went to Madison College today to give us a sneak peek at a gallery that shines a light on the Black community.
I'm surrounded by art that shows soulful joy, which is the theme of Thursday's gallery, to highlight Black femininity.
I think the reason why we choose to try to prioritize Black women is because the fact is we are memorializing a very key prominent Black woman.
The Soulful Joy Art Show honors the memory of Djibouti Akia, a former academic advisor at Madison College for nearly 2 decades. She passed in 2021, and Soulful Joy has lived on in her memory every year since. This year's exhibit brings together a group of 14 artists as they show their take on joy, resilience, and community. The theme represents light that endures despite adversity, strength through shared heritage, and a celebration of the soul.
No matter what you're going through, no matter your storms, that this is a joy that's from above, and the world can't take it because it came from God and it's inside of you. And so when you hear different music or you see somebody doing what they love, it brings that soulful joy.
Desiree Mayo is a local artist, and her piece was selected as the headliner for the gallery. Stay tuned for more on her story and the meaning behind her masterpiece. The opening ceremony begins at 5:30 on Thursday. I will bring you there to introduce you to more artists and the people that put this together. Reporting in Madison, Merrill Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Merrill, thank you. And still ahead on Live at 4, there's still time to help us help others in our community stay warm.
Sarah Carlson will join us from Studio C with the money we've raised so far for the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund.
We want to thank everyone who's called and donated so far to our Day of Warmth telethon. You know, times are tight. It's hard to have extra cash, but every little bit helps. And I'm a big believer that when you do good things come back to you. So
We thank you all so much. Let's rejoin Sarah Carlson with more on the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund. Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Brady and Susan. I'm joined by the founder, Tim Brewer, but I want to tell you something, what he revealed during the commercial break, that we have an anonymous donor out there who was matching 2 to 1. So if you're out there and you've been thinking about donating, and if you give $10, that turns into $30.
That's correct.
And so on. So please, the number and the website should be out there, but more importantly, we want to talk to Tim about where this foundation has come from and gone. It's amazing the numbers that you have, the people that you've been able to help.
We were first established after a couple of tragic deaths not very far from the station, and people came together and said nobody in Wisconsin or this country should have to face the bitter cold alone or face the life-threatening threats of hypothermia. So today we're really proud of the fact that with less than 5% administrative costs that we've raised over $49 million. That's $5, $10 or more, whatever people can afford. We've become really the people's charity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great causes that are out there, but this is one that I think touches people's heart because they really see how they're having such a difference for those persons who, because of their pride, often don't come forward, place themselves in a life-threatening situation, and for them, they're actually making those difficult choices.
Right.
Not only neglecting their medical needs or their pharmaceutical needs, but their food needs. And now we're starting to see folks who are coming in often over the age of 70 that have their water shut off because if they have a choice between water and heat, guess which one that they choose.
And there are people out there who are hungry or they're cold or both. So every single donation matters. If you're thinking about it again, please pick up the phone or go online. You can pay by credit card in that case. And again, we have a fantastic Godfather anonymous donor out there who's doing more. And again, this started a bit with more focused on veterans, but it's a lot of other people besides veterans too, from what I've been hearing.
We literally, organizationally, actually respond to well over 100,000 calls, which is unimaginable. This is statewide. We're in every zip code in the state of Wisconsin for those receiving help, and also that are from every zip code.
Yeah.
And this is probably the last of the old Americana. Our telethon with our incredible supporters and our volunteers and WISC-TV, who has literally been with us for 30 years.
Yeah, and we're so proud at News 3 Now to be here at Channel 3000. Again, if you can just pick up the phone, if you can find a way to get onto that website and give, what would you tell people at home who are thinking about it and saying, oh, I give to so many things, why should I do this right now? Again, and I do love the old school telethon part. Who doesn't? But
well, what we would say to that is we recognize there's a lot of great charities and incredible needs that exist. But if you can make the difference, whether or not somebody stays home and safely, that they're not shutting off their furnaces at night and are using gas stoves to keep their heat on, or those who are especially elderly and young working families that literally shut their furnace off at night just to be able to squeak through the heating season. This is the last piece of Americana, folks.
Yeah.
Where literally you can make the difference whether or not somebody stays safely in their homes. I think that this one hopefully will raise to the top because you really do have the power of keeping the heat and power on for folks that are barely surviving.
And like you said, and you have such a passion for it, you can see it. This is life and death too. We're not just talking about somebody needs a little heat, it's life and death. So thank you so much, everybody. And we've already raised more than 1,000. I've been trying to tally up and talk to these folks, but they're busy on the calls. Please continue. We'll be here for this telethon through 6:30. So for the rest of our newscasts this afternoon and evening.
And thanks for making it such a difference.
Yeah. Back to you guys.
Very good. Thank you, Sarah. Oh, we are getting going here, aren't we?
And Tim as well. Thank you so much for all you do and everybody's generosity. We live in a very generous place.
We
We're
sure
lucky
do.
for that.
Well, coming up next, we will answer your plant questions with Lisa Briggs.
You can send a question right now to tips
I couldn't
at
understand.
channel3000.com, and Lisa will answer your questions coming up. Well, if this weather is bumming you out, there are only 42 days until spring.
But who's counting?
Yeah.
Me. I'm counting. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here to take your plant questions. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Hi, Lisa.
Yeah, Jimmy did not see his shadow, so that means early spring.
That sounds good to me. I hope it happens.
This weekend, if you're looking for a spring oasis, it's the Garden Expo.
Yeah, it's our first sign of spring, and it's like out of Africa. We have a tent and a gramophone and wine glasses, and we take all of that to the Expo Center. So basically, we take a chunk of the Bruce Company and move it to the Alliance Center.
Yeah. Someone shampooing someone's hair. That happened in that movie.
It did.
Yeah.
Like the fly you see in the back. But, I mean, we'll have lots of our staff there and all of our seeds, bulbs, and just everything to get you started for spring. And the weather doesn't seem to matter whether it's snowing, people still come. It makes the loading in a little more difficult, but so I was glad to see that tomorrow is good.
Yeah, it's always like aromatherapy.
Yes,
It's wonderful.
So we just finished loading 2 giant trucks full of stuff, and we'll load in some more tomorrow and set it up.
Sounds
so
like a
we'll
good
be ready
workout.
on Friday.
Well, very good. Well, we do have a plant question. So this question, I have read that you should fertilize a Christmas cactus during March through September. What about an Easter cactus that blooms in April? When should that be fertilized?
So with those day length triggered cactuses, like the Easter cactus and the Thanksgiving cactus, which we normally call Christmas cactus, the ability of the plant to set flower buds is triggered by day shortening in the terms of the ones that bloom around the holidays, or day lengthening in the terms of the one that blooms at the Easter time. So what you want to do is probably about maybe 3 months before expected bloom time, you could start with a flower boosting fertilizer, your favorite water soluble one. There are numbers of them on the market. But the more important thing is to put them into rooms where you do not have lights on at night so they can experience that change in day length, because that's the thing.
Is there another part of that question about transplanting?
Yeah, there is. Okay.
When you they were also asking, when you transplant, do you use regular potting mix or a cactus mix?
I would use
question.
cactus mix for sure. You don't want to do the transplanting while it's starting to set flower buds. So in the terms of the Easter cactus, I would wait until after flowers. And then now, though, is a good time to repot all houseplants. They do much better as the day starts to lengthen. So, sort of middle of February on, and then when the days start to shorten, you only want to repot if you have to.
I also do much better when the days start to lengthen. I need that sunlight. All right, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Lisa. See you at Expo this weekend.
Absolutely.
Have fun.
We'll be right back.
Well, the first hour of our Day of Warmth telethon is almost over. Boy, time flies when you're having fun. We'll be taking your donations until 6:30 tonight, so let's get one final check with our Sarah Carlson to see how things are going so far. Sarah?
Hi, Susan. This is really exciting. First of all, I can tell you that in less than an hour, we've raised almost $8,000 for the telethon, and we have until 6:30. Can't do math that well, but I can do the math on $8,000. Please, if you're sitting there considering giving, we need people to be able to feel warm and not have to go hungry. The number, if you just want to call, 608-270-2833. You can hear these busy voices behind me. And really exciting breaking news on our telethon. We had people from Culver's watching this hour, and they've decided to donate and do a Day of Warmth tomorrow. There will be 37 different Culver's locations. We'll have more information on that, of course, as we go on News 3 Now and on the website. But this is such exciting news. And again, the Keep Wisconsin Warm and Cool Fund is something that is given back to veterans, to the elderly, and to families who really, really have to choose that life-saving decision to have food or to have something like their heat. So we'll be having much more in shows to come.
On the next Live at 4, I preview the annual Dip for Dozer this weekend. And later on News 3 Now at 6, the next steps the family of Sophia Franklin are taking as police continue the search for her and her alleged abductor. And stick around, we have more coming from our telethon. And thank you for everyone who has called in to help. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.